Okay. So when it comes to interview questions, they will mainly focus on the collections. So what is collection hierarchy? Can you explain collection hierarchy? And they might ask you next question, what is the difference between list and set? And what is the difference between array list and linked list? So how objects will store in the map, how hash map will work internally. That's a common interview question. And what is the difference between hash map and hash table? And then how you will read the data from properties file. And sometimes they're asking what is the difference between comparator and comparable interfaces. So how we will sort the data. So this is the questions, and at the same time programs. So as I mentioned, the programs, how we'll remove the duplicate elements in given array using array list, using list. So that program we have done already. That is a one program. You can do many ways, right? Using a list you can do, using a set you can do. So that's the array they are giving. But from that array, you have to remove the duplicates and you have to return the list, or you have to return the any collection, right? Set collection or list collection you can return. And then map programs they will ask you. So how given string, how do you know each string is occurring how many times? Using hash map, you can write very easily, right? So that one program, look into that. And we explained very clearly that one. So next program, they will ask you. So in the given string, print the duplicate characters. That's another program. And in the next program, so in the given string, so find out the first non-occurrence character. So this kind of questions they will ask you in the interviews regarding collections. Then they will go for the strings. Mainly strings, they will ask what is the difference between a string and string buffer, and string buffer and string builder differences. And another mainly important question they're asking is how you can reverse the string with a string builder. How can you reverse the string with a string builder? Simple code you can do that, right? This is not a complicated. You can just simply write. So the string they are giving with a string builder, create object for a string builder, okay? So you create object for a string builder. So like create public class, the class name. So any name you can do, and make sure you have a main method inside the main method, or you write your own method. In the interview, they won't bother about what you are writing. So whether you are writing properly or not, they will. Proper structure you are following or not, they will check. So string builder SB equal to new string builder. So this is the one question. Reverse. So string they will ask. They will give a string input. Suppose they are giving a string str equal to. So they're asking to reverse, right? Selenium. So suppose one string they are giving. This you have to reverse. So how can you reverse? So use the for loop for. So int I equal to 0, it will start with 0. I less than str dot length. Length method you have to use, and I plus plus. Always, because this is also a kind of character array, right? This is a character array. String is a character array, so you iterate it. And SB dot append method you use. Append method you can use, and so str dot caret of Maybe you can start here with the last element. So you can do last element. Str dot length length -1 and I greater than or equal to 0. So that you can do that. Then I minus. So then caret of I you put it. That's it. It will append automatically, and you will print that. So reverse system.out.println. Very simple append method. If you can use, that's enough, and print the SB. That's it. This is one simple one. They will ask, they will expect either string buffer also similar code. Okay, similar code to reverse the string. Okay. So this is the question. One program generally they are asking, and also given string is palindrome or not, they will give another question, and they will ask in the next program in the given string. So how many vowels, consonants, numbers are there? You print them. So that's another question they will ask you. And swapping the given two strings. How can you swap given two strings? Another question. And they might ask you another question. Program. Write a program to check given two strings are anagrams or not. So these are the string programs. Mostly they will ask if they will extend, they will go beyond that. Most number of occurrence of substring. So find out a repeatable substring in the given string. They will ask you another one. That's the string program. Not other than that. Okay. And when it comes to exception handling, next exception handling they will ask. In the exception handling, so what are the different type of exceptions? Checked and unchecked exceptions, right? And then so you can explain the exception hierarchy. And what is the difference between throw and throws keyword? So what is the difference between finally, finalize method? It's a mandatory question, another one. And that's it. You know, in the try catch block, they will ask you, can you write the try block without catch block? Yes, you can write. Try block with finally block you can write. So only try block, no use, right? So you have to catch the error. So to catch that error, catch block is also important, but it's optional, not mandatory, but optional. You tell that. So to catch the error properly, we need a catch block also. When finally block doesn't execute, another question they will ask. That's all exception. Other than that, nothing. And so next they will ask you OOPS concepts. So what is the difference between abstract class and interface? It's a common question, this one. And what is the difference between this and super keyword? What is the difference between method overloading and method overriding? And and what is encapsulation? What is inheritance? Why Java doesn't support inheritance, multiple inheritance? And what is runtime polymorphism? What is upcasting? So this kind of questions they will ask in the OOPS concepts. And they will ask you explain all the OOPS concepts. So that's all about, and some array programs they will give you. If still they will go extend your interview, they will ask you about what is the difference between break and continue. So then they will ask you what is the increment and decrement of some programs they will give on that, very simple programs. And then array programs they will ask. Array programs, sorting, they might ask you sorting programs or reverse array in place, and finding max and minimum elements in the array. These are the duplicate elements, finding the duplicate elements in the array. So this is the kind of array program they might ask. So maybe finding the second largest element in the given array, second smallest element in the array. How can you do that? Just we have given already in our blog. Just go and refer that. So all in the array programs, you can find all of them, right? Make sure you refer them. So no, I have given only finding the which is the max here. Java array programs you have. So a lot of programs I have given. So refer these programs also. So left rotate and right rotate programs also they will ask in the interviews. And rotate elements and frequency of each element. One developer interview, they asked me this question. So that's why I included this also. And ascending order, ascending, descending order, if you know, it's easy to find out the second largest element. Say largest number in the that find third largest number. So you sort it and then total minus 3 if you do, you will get the same second largest also same total minus 3 minus 2 you do that. So second largest number. So see it total minus 2. That means a total length minus 2 you are doing array of total length minus 2. Then you will get that element. Second largest number in array using array, second smallest number. This kind of questions they will ask you. So if you know sorting programs, then easily you can do this thing. So if they ask you second largest, you put in the descending order sorting you do first. Then so array of second element. That's it, right? You can easily find out. So descending order means bigger to lower, right? Second largest, second smallest. If they ask you last length minus 1, if you give last index, you will get smallest. But the second smallest, if they ask you total length minus 2, you do second smallest element you will get. So like that you have to understand. Okay, so ascending order, descending order, code itself you can use, and then you index use. Then you will get these answers for all these things. That's the main programs they will ask in the in the interviews and the array concept. And then we have this Fibonacci series programs and palindrome number and Armstrong number. There is one more program, neon number. The number is a neon number or not. So I'm going to explain that in the next class, and you can see that videos also. Neon number is nothing but a number which is, if you square that number and add that numbers after square, if you add that. So that number, for example, 9, you take a 9. So check whether the given number is neon or not. This also recently asked in one of the interviews, whether the given number is a neon number or not. How can you check this? Basically, suppose you take int n equal to 9. You square this, square. So int square value. This 9 times 9, right? 9 times 9. So how much you will get? 81. Then this output you sum it. You sum it 8 plus 1, right? 8 plus 1. Again, you are getting the same number, right? The initial number you are getting. So that is this. That's what you are going to get it here. 1 minute. That's how to extract this numbers, each digit from the number, right? So I already told Armstrong number and palindrome number, how we extracting each number. That logic you have to apply here. Okay, that logic you have to apply. While loop you use. So then while loop inside you have to write this while square value greater than 0, and you can keep doing that, extracting that. So how you will extract, you already know this thing. So you can sum, so right, one sum variable you declare. So sum equal to 0. So that also you can do that. And then first extract the remainder value. Into remainder value equal to, you will know how to get the remainder value. Square value percentile by 10. So if you give, you will get a remainder value. Then that sum it. Sum plus so remainder value. You will add. So that no, so you will extract each number and you will add to the previous sum. Then you get the int square value equal to square value. Already we declared here, right? You don't need again. Square value divided by 10. So that will help us to get that. So if this sum value is equal to this n value, then that is an even number. This no, basically you will get a first 8, right? Then 1. But 9 you will get. So 9, the sum value is equal to, if condition use after so while loop. If sum value double equal to n, then you can say it is a neon number. Else it is not a neon number. Okay. This is the program recently asked on interviews. So whatever the number you will give as an input to this method, okay, n, this you can use and square that. So outside the while loop only. Then square value is greater than 0. Then get the remainder. Remainder is fetching each digit. This line is fetching the each digit. So each digit you are fetching and you are summing to the previous. And once you complete that, and you will know. So compare. So this sum value is equal to initially given input. The same is there. Then you can say that's a neon number. Same as an palindrome number, Armstrong number, right? So that's the same logic we are using. But you will know that understand those programs, so then it will be very easy for you. Okay. So that's the programs they will ask you in the Java side. Any questions on the Java side other than this? Okay, let's move on to the Selenium.
Sir, memory leakage. What is memory leakage, sir?
So memory leakage is nothing but when your objects are not clearly used, and so then memory is keep occupying more memory, right? So that kind of questions you won't get generally. That's for developers you will get that. That memory so you understand the memory areas, right? So if that memory is so some objects you created but you are not killing them. Every time you create object, you try to nullify them. So if you are not nullifying, and it will cause the damage. So it will keep on occupying the memory, unnecessary memories. So that object creation, you have to be very careful. That memory leak is, you can stop it. So nullifying that object, once you create object, you nullify them, so that you can stop the memory leakages. Basically, memory leakages will affect the performance of your application. Okay, so that is the one. And that's all about Java, not more than that. They will ask you. And in the Selenium, first framework, they will ask you which framework you are following. Explain me your framework, so that you explain properly. So as I mentioned just now, and then what are the different OOPS concepts you are using in your automation framework? That's a common question, and you explain now. That is the another important. Now they are asking another question. So I have explained very clearly this OOPS concepts, how you need to do this hybrid framework, right? Just go and read that. So hybrid framework, I explained very, very clearly what OOPS concept, where you are using in the automation framework. So in detailed, so in detail, I have used that. In detail, I explained which page, which area you're using. Also, I detailed steps I have given. The same thing, if you explain, that's more than enough. So go and read that our blog and utilize that hybrid framework. Inside you have that. If you read that hybrid framework, you can see in the below, see in your automation, that also I have given explanation. And so where you have used Java OOPS concepts in your automation framework. See, one by one explanation I have given very, very clearly. So this you can explain same thing. No need of any other things also. Okay. So that's the OOPS concepts. You read this and go. Then next question they will ask, what are the latest changes in the Selenium 4? So we have already go and read them. What are the latest changes? Architectural changes, what are there? They will ask. So read that, or no differences between Selenium 3 and Selenium 4 in our blog. So that will help you. And then, so what is the difference between get and navigate method? And what is the difference between find element and find elements method? And what is the difference between get window handle and get window handles? And how can you handle the alerts? How can you handle the frames? How can you handle the pop-ups? These are the questions, common questions they will ask you. And they will ask you in the XPath mainly. They will give one website and go and write the XPath. They will ask. Practice more on XPath. So what they will ask, what is XPath? How many types of XPaths are there? Absolute and relative XPath, right? Why you should not use absolute XPath to identify the web elements? And then what is a relative XPath? How can you handle dynamically changing elements? Contains method and ends with, starts with methods you have to use, right? And also now you got relative locators in the Selenium 4. So that you can tell that also. Nearby, left of, right of, above, below. All these relative locators also you can mention. Access XPaths also you can mention. So what is following and preceding? And these are the questions they will ask in the XPath ways, object identification ways. What are the locators? That's a common question, right? You know all the locators. You can easily answer that. And then they will ask you, how can you perform the right click operation? And how can you perform the drag and drop? How can you perform the double click operation? So you need to type the value in the edit box, capital letter. How can you type it? So these are the questions on the Selenium side. On top of that, test ng. They will ask you test ng. So how can you perform the data-driven testing? So how can you run only failed test cases? What is the difference between before test and before method annotations? What is testng.xml format? And what is the return type of data provider annotation? How you can supply the parameter values from XML file to your test method using @parameters annotation. I told you already all these points. And these are some test ng concepts they will ask. And what are the listeners they might ask you? Listeners also, you just look into that. I have given in our hybrid framework in the listeners also. Here it is the listeners. So listeners, all these methods you can tell. This is the listener, right? I test listener interface and that methods. And then that's all in the test ng side, not more than that. They won't go beyond that also. And they will ask you, how can you read the data from Excel sheet to your program? That method I have given, that method you write. Using Apache Py library, we are going to write the read the data from Excel to my programs. That you can tell that. So we have done that already, right? That you can tell. How can you take the screenshot? That is an important question. mandatory question. That's also. How can you take the screenshot of an element? How can you take the screenshot of entire page? These are the mostly asked interview questions. Generally, they will give one scenario and go and write an automation test case. So they will ask. Write the automation code. They will ask. So that's a really, you know already how to write automation code, right? The flow first you need to understand, right? If you're not understanding the flow, you cannot write. First, always you have to start the browser. Start the browser, you can use WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup method, then driver equal to new Chrome driver. And another very important question is, what is the difference between implicit wait and explicit wait? What is synchronization in Selenium? Synchronization is nothing but the page is loading slowly, but Selenium is very fast. To sync both of them, you're using synchronization commands in Selenium. We have two types of synchronization commands, implicit wait to explicit wait. In the explicit wait, we have a WebDriver wait class or fluent wait class. Fluent wait class is used for polling purpose and setting the timeout to all that purpose you use. Wait interface methods, you are implementing the fluent wait class. That also you read that, okay? So, and sometimes they will ask you, how can you get the tooltip? So how can you check particular element is present in the page or not? Is displayed method. How can you check particular element is enabled or not? Is enabled method you have to use on that element. So these are the some of the questions mostly they will ask on that. In the BDD Cucumber, when it comes to BDD Cucumber, so what is a BDD? What is TDD? They will ask. What is the difference between BDD and TDD? And then BDD architecture you explain. And what are the Cucumber options they will ask? What are the, so how you'll run the tags? And, that's it. What are the Gherkin keywords? What is the difference between scenario outline and scenario? And how we will use the data table concept? And what is background keyword in feature files? So these are the general questions. It will be there in the BDD. And then API, when it comes to API testing, they will ask, what are the different HTTP work methods? What are the different status codes? What you will validate in the API testing? How you will validate? And how you will get the response data? This all we have seen already, right? And also they will ask you, what is the difference between web service and API? And SOAP and RESTful web services differences. And what is URI and URL? So query parameters means what? Path parameters and query parameters. These are some of the questions they will ask in the interviews. That's all, guys. If you're confident on these questions, I think you can answer 80 to 90%. You can answer it. But confident is very important. Confidence levels. So don't hesitate. Tell whatever you know. So don't stop there. So that's very important. So they will see confidence levels. So that's why when you are always speak. So don't be silent in the meetings or in the interviews also. You whatever you know, this is how I'm using, this is how we are using in my company, in my current project. You can tell that. There is nothing wrong in that. Okay. Any questions? That's all about all the interview questions. So refer